You all set? Yeah, man. How's everybody doing? Everybody good? All right, so I'll get started here. Like I said the other day, we came out pretty clean in regards to the injuries and that sort of thing. I think with Robert Quinn this week, most likely be limited, but we're going to get a good chance to be able to see him today. So I don't know to what capacity yet. We'll kind of see where that goes and how he is, but just to fill you in there, I'm sure that was going to probably be some questions and just give you an idea of where he's at. Otherwise, roster spot wise, yesterday, Rashad Smith and Jamon Brown, we both lost from our practice squad, and wish them well. They were really good players, but they get a chance here. So that's that.
We'll kick things off. Jeff Dickerson, go ahead.
Hey, Matt, we're all doing fine. We're all muted before. No one could respond.
Yeah, I hear you. Good. Awesome.
Hey, listen, I know contracts are not your department, but, Allen Robinson's agent came out yesterday and said that he's unhappy about where things stand right now with negotiations. How do you as a coach make sure when something like that becomes public, how do you make sure that does not become an issue or a distraction inside the locker room?
Yeah, we just, how we roll here. We talk about things. And so I had a great conversation with Allen, just excited about where we're at. He's a leader. He's a very important part of our team. As far as the other part of it, that's not my world. That's both sides to deal through that. But I think, our players all realize the history that we have here in regards to taking care of guys, and I think it was a really, really good talk that Allen and I had. I think, when you have situations like this, it's only fair that both be able to talk. So hopefully, I think he definitely feels good, and, he's confident that we want him to be here and that he wants to be here. So that's really the ultimate goal in all this.
Jason Leisure.
Matt, were you concerned, or are you concerned that one of your best players possibly doesn't feel valued or respected by the team?
Zero concern. I think, like I said, just talking to him, it's everybody's able to talk. It's so much easier when you just cut out the middle stuff and all the emotions of people that people get into and start saying. And when you're just able to just talk one-on-one and you listen, that's the other key part of this too, is he listens, we listen, and it usually things end up pretty good. So I really don't have any concern.
Dan Wiederer.
Matt, so what reduced your concern in your face-to-face with Allen, and what did he communicate to you that he's in a better place than he was maybe yesterday when he was scrubbing his social media accounts of all Bears-related stuff?
Yeah, probably the biggest thing is just both of us understanding that it's a process. These things don't happen overnight, and again, remember what I've said from day one. This is an instant gratification world we live in right now. Everything needs to happen now. So patience and process is a part of this. And when you have two sides that are working through this, it's their job to do it. And I'm me as the head coach and him as the player. We have our own relationship too, and I think that's important that we talk through that kind of stuff. And again, Allen Robinson is a super really, really super individual, and then he's a super player too. So it's just you talk through those things.
Brad Biggs.
Hey, Coach, when you went back and you looked at the film, what did you see from James Daniels, and then how did you assess Danny Trevathan from Sunday's game in Detroit?
Yeah, I would say, Brad, with watching James specifically, I thought there was a couple shots in there in that game where he handled some stunts really well. Had some good anchor. In the run game, you could feel all five of those guys along with the tight ends, which was very valuable. I like that. I know that, he knows that every day he's going to grow, but I thought he had a good game along with the rest of the guys. And then Danny, it's always hard to, you come out here this first game, and I think Danny would tell you that he's had better games for sure. He knows that. But the one thing I love about Danny is that he cares so much. He's the leader of this team, and whatever that is that he needs to do, I know he'll do that. And really overall in general, just for our team, really not just defense, not offense, but really the team in general. I think we can play a lot better. And the good part of that, like we talked in our team meeting today, is that being down 17 and still being able to win gives you a little bit of confidence all around, even if we all didn't play or coach our best game.
Kevin Fishbane.
Hey, Matt, I know we probably asked you this about Mitch in a couple of years here, but when he has a game where there's just one quarter of these flashes of plays that are brilliance, what is the coaching points in trying to harness that for a whole game? I mean, what have you learned over the past couple of years that maybe you can use this year to try to get that full 4 quarters from him?
Probably the biggest thing, Kevin, for Mitchell, using him as an example, when you say, the 3 quarters versus 1, is I thought that he did a really good job in the pocket, and he was accurate in the pocket with some different types of play actions, some movements that we had. You're never going to be perfect. There's a lot of good quarterbacks that played this past weekend that didn't play real great. So we have to temper that as coaches, as emotional as we all can get. Then for him to play as well as he did in that fourth quarter, it was that's special. Now he played at another level in that fourth quarter. Man, if we could get 4 quarters of that, you can see what could happen. So every game's a little different. He figures out, okay, where can I get better? Well, 3rd down and a couple places in the red zone. Mitch would tell you that we could get better there. And so we just got to make sure that we as coaches are putting these players in the best position possible and making them take advantage of their strengths. If we're not doing that as coaches, that's our fault. But if we then put them in a great position, and then it's their job to execute. And I think that's where collectively we got to make sure every single day we are harping on the details to be perfect.
Mark Potash.
Hey, Matt, curious, can you go over kind of the scripted plays thing and just, how strict are you to that? How deep into a game do you go with scripted plays? And have you pinpointed any reason why the scripted plays aren't quite as effective as they were in like your first 3-4 starts with the Bears?
Sure. They're all a little bit different every week based on some things that we see. Usually it's a first 15 that we stick to, that I stick to. You try to get through as many as you can. You try to stay stubborn with it because there's a reason behind it. We had planned, for a lot of that game to be able to in that situation on 3rd and 1 to run the QB sneak. That wasn't something we just tried to shoot off our hip. That was a planned deal. So, that went to start off the season 3 and out. It's not really what you want. But we rebounded and we were able to move the ball a little bit. We just didn't do well in the red zone and 3rd down. So I think every game's a little bit different.
Adam Hogue.
Hey, Matt, quickly back to A-Rob. Maybe it's just the social media world we live in, but I don't remember ever seeing a Bears player garner this type of support from teammates in this type of social media campaign. What's your reaction to it? And is it something actually you sort of like to see?
Yeah, I think Adam, what it does is a few things. Is number one, you're right. The social media world is where we're at right now, and it's a voice for people. And so we all understand that, but I think when you start seeing his teammates and you, like you said, that show the support, that just goes to show what type of culture that we have here of the players that believe in each other. And it's the same thing with us as coaches and personnel department with Ryan and his guys. I mean, it's a pretty cool culture that we have going on right now. Guys that like each other, guys that want to be here. And again, I think it's more so than anything to all of our players. If you look at the history of the Chicago Bears here, especially recently with players that we have on this team, I think you'll see it's pretty friendly if you really look at that. So there's a process and there's some patience involved probably for all of us.
A couple more here for Coach. Deion Miller.
Matt, you were going back to Mitch a little bit. You talked about getting close to getting 4 quarters of Mitch playing at a special level. How close is he to that from what you're observing, to being more consistent? Sure.
Yeah. Well, that's the word, Deion, is consistent. And I think that's where when you evaluate the quarterback position, inconsistencies can get you, right? And that's what can get frustrating if you're inconsistent. So you can't be consistently inconsistent. You got to be consistent all the time. That separates the good from the great ones. And we're trying to get to that point. That fourth quarter, that Mitchell produced and put together, number one was special physically, but for him to bounce back mentally the way he did after those first 3 quarters. And again, I don't want to give all the credit to Mitchell because there were some pretty good routes. There was some pretty good protection and there was some pretty good catches as well. But what happens is that when you fight through and you battle through like that, you feel that momentum and it catches fire and then it ignites the defense and then it goes back and forth. And so, boy, if he could put together four to throw 3 touchdowns, be 8 for 10 and have that rating he had, you don't need all that the whole game, but if you could get some of that, that'd be pretty good.
Pat Finley.
Hey, Matt, when you put Mitch under center as opposed to the shotgun, is that a product of what you want to do, what he is more comfortable with? Where's the intersection there of, I mean, this is a guy who, he was a shotgun quarterback all through college.
Yeah, right. I think for us, it goes into one of those deals where now this is year 3 for us, and you start looking as to what are the strengths of your players type deal. It allows you, we did some good self-scout here in the off season. We tried to look at some different things, and you can see that going under center was something that we evaluated. And again, to offensive line and tight ends and Coach Juan, first down for us was a really good play for us this past game. We were 3rd in the league right now on first down averages. And so you like that. Under center probably helps that out a little bit. You want to be able to keep teams off balance, and we still have a lot of stuff from the gun. But as we're trying to create this identity of who we are, you could probably feel there's a little bit more of that for sure this year.
Last one, Hub, go ahead.
Matt, after watching it a few times, Khalil has set the bar so high that obviously he made a lot of plays, did a lot of nice things Sunday, but he had a favorable matchup and you didn't have those game-changing plays. I'm wondering what your observation of his game was Sunday.
Yeah, Hub. I would agree that I think overall, when you watch the tape for, our defense, I know that they can play better. I have zero doubt in that they will play better. And you look at the frontline guys, you have to be able to get pressure against Stafford. Now, it's hard to get after the quarterback when the ball's out as fast as it was. There were some one-hitchers that were out pretty fast. And I thought that they had a pretty good game plan that they worked around. Stafford has experience. He knows how to work the pocket. We did get after him a few times. Akeem Hicks made that great sack on a sprint out where that's hard to get a sack on, and he did it. So it's certainly not for effort. I know 52 Khalil Mack is the best in the league at rushing around the corner and getting after these quarterbacks. So, all of a sudden next week he can go out and have 3 or 4 sacks just like that. But I would agree with you, Hub. I think that we could certainly get a lot more pressure, which would help out these DBs on the back end.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Hey, Alan.
Is it me? Oh, you're unmuted now. How you guys doing?
Hey, Alan. We're going to get started.
Bet.
Dan Wiederer, go ahead.
Alan, what's new, man?
Nothing much. Taking it easy, getting ready for another week, getting ready to play the Giants.
Matt talked about the conversation that you guys had. I believe it was earlier today. What did you want to express to him, and what did you take away from his return comments?
Yeah, again, I mean, that's pretty personal, but me and Coach Nagy have a great relationship. As everybody knows, he was a big reason, as far as me coming to Chicago. Just my belief and his spirit and just how he brings it each and every day. So we had a very good and spirited conversation. Coach Nagy's my guy. I've enjoyed playing for him. And he's been nothing but a great coach.
Pat Finley.
Hey, Rob, are you frustrated by the pace of negotiations? And if so, how do you balance being able to show that and let the world know it without it distracting beyond that?
Yeah, putting yesterday, behind, and moving forward for me, the biggest thing is me focusing on playing, again, which I've been doing, so again, I know it's not going to be a distraction for me. The biggest thing for me is just going out there, trying to play my best, trying to ball out, and keep trying to lead this offense, I think that's the biggest thing, because at the end of the day for me, everything in between those lines trumps everything.
Deion Miller.
Alan, you knew when you scrubbed your social media of Bears things that questions were going to be raised around the world, the sports world, especially from Bears fans. What was the motivation for that? And then how did it feel to see so many of your teammates take to Twitter and Instagram and support you in the way that they did?
Yeah, I didn't know where to come from, again, but at the same time, to your next question, those guys in those locker room, in that locker room is what makes, playing special. Again, I love my teammates, I have nothing but a ton of respect for those guys, and even for me, it's unfortunate that, hopefully, you guys don't ask them many questions about this, because this is not their concern, again, I can't say enough about my teammates, and those guys that I go to battle with each and every day, and at the same time, I appreciate those guys, so much just in general, and even, in between the lines. So, again, man, I got a ton of respect for every single last person in that locker room.
Michelle Steele.
Hey, Alan, nice to see you again. I appreciate you speaking today. You guys put your bodies on the line every week. Does this contract situation give you some unease just to not have that security as we get deeper into the season? And do you have your own deadline on when you like this to be done?
Again, I mean, that's things that are, personal that I'll keep to myself, but at the same time, again, we do put our bodies on the line, each and every week, but I mean, at the end of the day, for myself, like I said before, playing Sunday, even I can compartmentalize it, and just kind of, for me, it's just about getting better each and every week, as we get later and later into the season, just for me watching the film, I thought I played average on Sunday. I know I got a lot more that I could play. I thought I played with too high of pad level. I thought I could have been a little faster at times and play with more game speed. So for me, like I said before, man, I'm keeping it the same thing. Everything is about in between the lines. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters. Again, it's about going out there with those 52 guys. And trying to get a job done.
Colleen Kane.
Ellen, when you talk about compartmentalizing, how difficult is it to do that? And have you leaned on advice from anybody about how to do that?
I haven't really, leaned on too much advice. Just talking to some vets, but everybody's circumstances is a little bit different. But honestly, for me, being completely honest, once I get in between those lines and everything, my mind is not focused on anything else, and really not too much, outside of the lines, as certain situations may come up, but for the most part, again, everything is pretty much the same for me. I know there was a lot of commotion and stuff going on yesterday, but, as I just was chilling, talking to Coach Furry about the game plan, watching some stuff on the Giants, so for me, I try to keep the main thing as much as possible. Obviously, being in the NFL, you have, the business of the NFL, so things do come up. But for me, for the most part, I'm able to keep the main thing always.
Adam Hogue.
Alan, can you clear up some of the trade talk at least? Did you ask about a trade, and do you at least expect to finish this season with the Bears?
Yeah, I would say so. Again, I mean, the tough question of that is, again, everything that was said or whatever the case may be, I've talked to Ryan, I've talked to Coach Nagy, so as far as everything else, we're in the clear with that, and like I said before, again, for me, it's about, playing with these guys, playing with these guys in the locker room, playing for Coach Nagy, again, that never has really, shifted. So again, for me at the same time is, it's my job to go out there, play well on Sundays, and to help my offense and to help my team, get better each and every week and win games.
JJ?
Alan, did this just all kind of come to a head for you after week one when you saw, previously Keenan Allen and DeAndre Hopkins and Cooper Kupp get those extensions, and then you were kind of left without one going into Sunday?
I wouldn't say that. I think that again, it's just more in general to that. Like I said before, I'm gonna keep that confidential. But at the same time, like I said before, it's the business of the league. So it's a lot of things that go on and that change each and every day and stuff like that. So again, I am trying to I'm gonna put all that behind me, and again, continue to look forward to we got a game this Sunday, against a tough Giants team, and that's where my focus is at.
Jason Leisure?
Hey, Alan, you've spoken very passionately in the past about how you envision your career with the Bears going and wanting to be among the all-time greats with the franchise. When you think about the possibility that may not be able to happen, and you may need to go somewhere else to get paid what you believe you deserve, how do you feel about that?
Again, my heart and spirit has never wavered. Again, what you're saying is part of the nature of the business. Again, so for me, I only can, again, control the things that I can, and doing that wholeheartedly, is again going out here, being the best player I could be, for my teammates, going out here competing on Sundays and helping us win games. And after that, everything after that is going to continue to play out, how it's going to play out. But like I said before, I've talked to, the people in this organization, in the locker room and everything like that.
Dan Wiederer?
Alan, back to Dion's question about scrubbing your social media. That obviously took some time. It took some motivation. It took some emotion. What was behind that for you?
And, like you said before, again, it took some emotion. At the same time, I think everybody knows how passionate I am about the game. Or the passion that I've had, for the city of Chicago, and I had the passion that I had, for the city of Chicago. And to put on this Bears uniform and everything like that, So again, I'm a passionate person. Again, I know I may not show it on the sidelines and stuff like that, but the things that I believe in, I really do believe in them. And again, that's just where that came from.
A couple more for Alan. Adam Johns?
Hey, Alan, just to confirm, you still want to be here, right? There was no trade request put in by you. And on top of that, when was the last serious offer you had from the Bears to seriously consider?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that detail, but like I said before, my heart and spirit, has never wavered. As far as the city of Chicago and playing for the organization. Like I said before, obviously you dive into the business of the game, and there's different variables that go down to that. But again, how I feel about my teammates, how I feel about this team, how I feel about this city and everything like that, again, has never wavered. Again, like I said before, when you're in this business and when you're in situations like this, things come up, So again, to answer your question, I feel the same way, how I've said I felt prior.
Last one, we'll go to Pat Finley. Pat?
Yeah, I got it. Alan, fans were freaking out about this yesterday. Would you want them to interpret this as part of a negotiation or as a line in the sand?
Again, that's that's tough to kind of get into, but I will say that, as always, I appreciate 1000%, the fan base that we have here in Chicago and the love and support that we have, from them and for this team, again, and it's been nothing but love from them since day one, since I stepped foot in this organization, so I'm always appreciative of that, so, and that was something, again, that for sure was not noticeable yesterday. I definitely did take notice of that. And again, I appreciate it. Like I said, man, I have a ton of love and respect, for this city.
Thanks, Alan.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Hey, Mitch.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
We'll get started. Mark Grody, go ahead.
There I am. Mitch, after you had a chance to review the tape and having, been critiqued the good and the bad from the game, what did you see? What stood out to you mostly?
Yeah, I thought we started slow and finished strong, and we got to be better on third downs. But I love the way we ran the ball. I liked our play pass, and it was very obvious we got to be better in third down, especially early on in the game, staying in the field, and converting those critical situations to create points, so we don't put ourselves in a deficit like that. But to battle back the way we did says a lot about this team and this offense and what we're capable of. So hopefully you guys see that, continue to buy in, so we're able to make more plays early on in the game. But mostly it comes down to me and just overall execution with the guys on third down.
Kevin Fishbane.
Hey, Mitch, I'm wondering the last time you quarterbacked a game where you were under center that much, and what was the process this offseason of getting used to that being a bigger part of the offense?
That was the most I've probably been under center my whole career. I mean, I was all shotgun middle school through high school and college, and then learned a bunch of under center when I got to the NFL, and then it was a good portion of it. And it's just repetitions. I'm very comfortable with it. I love the play actions, the nakeds, and the dropbacks from under center. I think it hides the defense even more, whether it's going to be a run or a pass, and you just got to keep the defense off balance. So for me, it was just repetitions, getting the footwork under center, getting good meshes with the backs on all the stuff. And I think it's been a positive for our offense, and we're just going to keep growing with it.
Hub.
Mitch, I'm sure you love all your receivers, but how important in particular is it to you to have Allen Robinson as a primary target? As a guy, it felt like at times over the last couple of years, he's almost become a bit of a security blanket for you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Allen's just so reliable. You can go to him in any situation. And the saying about him is when he's open, when he's not open, he's still open. So just put in his area, he'll go make a play for the offense. And that's my guy. So I know there's a lot of talk about his contract and all that. And hopefully they take care of him, because me and the rest of the guys on the team, we want him around. And that's very obvious. We love A-Rob, and we all know what he brings to this team. And they just got to get that done so we can keep him around and continue to take care of business. But we're not worried about anything else, because we know how Allen approaches the game, practice every single week. So in between the lines in the locker room, everything's been the same. It's been awesome. So can't really say how much he means to this team and this offense. And he's always been there for all the guys on and off the field, and when it comes to playmaking ability.
Dan Wiederer.
Should you recommend some zero dark 12 for A-Rob there, maybe?
I would recommend going dark for any guys who'd ask me. You know me, I'm not active on Twitter, Instagram, but the guys like it. And I think the worst place you can go is to start to get into arguments with people in the outside world and try to get other people's opinions on it. But all I know is everything that's going on in-house, and we'll take care of business that way. And I'm always going to have my guys back. So whether it's A-Rob or anybody else, I always got their back. We're in this together, and I would definitely recommend to go dark when it comes to social media. Just keep it in house.
Mitch, on a different note, you and Matt have both really emphasized the third down improvement that's needed. What's the process of making the quick fixes from week 1 to week 2 to try to get that a little bit more oiled up?
For sure, it's growth in every area, especially third down. And I think great teams realize that, are just conscious of it, and then approach practice that way with that mindset. Be like, okay, it's third down. Everyone better lock in because we got to convert this and stay on the field. So I think at first it's a mindset, and then it comes to studying the plays, everyone knowing their job, and then it's the execution. So if everyone does their job, we should be able to convert more third downs. And when you make it more of a focus, especially in practice, I think that's when you get better at it. So that's what we're going to do this week.
Michelle Steele.
Hey, Mitch. Coach talked a little bit about consistency and bringing that more earlier in the week. What are the keys for you to being more consistent on Sunday?
Definitely. I think for me, just continue to make good decisions, cut out a few bad decisions, and then just find completions. Don't try to force stuff early on. Take what the defense is giving me and just continue to go through progressions and make good decisions by finding completions. That's keeping it simple.
Pat Finley.
Mitch, what was different when you were under center? What did you notice that was different about whether it's windows or passing lanes or the momentum of defenders? Was there anything tangible as opposed to being in the shotgun?
I think it's just a little different the way the defense approaches it because they have to respect the run more. So I think some of the passing lanes were a little more open. Our O-line has done a great job protecting from under center. So I don't know if the pass rush isn't coming as hard when they're expecting more of a run play to come, and then we turn around and hit them with a pass. So it's just keeping the defense honest, and those lanes have opened up. I think it's something that's been comfortable for myself and the receivers to time up on those certain routes that come from under center and play action and of that sort. So we're just going to keep exploring it, keep getting better at it, and keep finding things that fit this style of offense and what fit our personnel. So I think if we keep doing that, we'll keep evolving on offense, but it's definitely helped so far.
Mark Potash.
Hey, Mitch, with regard to the early in the game, how do you replicate the urgency you feel that's so successful in the fourth quarter or in certain times in games? How do you replicate that at the beginning of the game so that you can be good? Because you say, well, we have to be better, but it seems like it's almost impossible to really create that kind of same feeling, that dynamic you have that you're so good late in the game at the beginning.
Yeah, we got to get to a point to where we just feel it. I don't think you want to go into the mindset that you attack the game like you're down 17 points, but it's got to be somewhere in that realm where we're being aggressive, but we're also taking care of the football and doing our job. So wherever we got to get to be in that mindset to come out and start fast, we got to step up as players and do that and take care of business. And that's where we want to get to, just being aggressive and have that attacking mindset and come out starting fast and throw the first punch.
A couple more for Mitch. Stacey Dales.
Hey, Mitch, you talk about all the improvement that you want to take away from the game. Where did you feel the most growth? I know it's just a game, but where do you feel the most growth after assessing the tape and coming into week 2 with this offense?
I feel like my feet were a little more calm in the pocket. I feel like my eyes were up a lot more. I wasn't looking to run as often as I was last year, letting plays developed. And I feel like I was happy with a couple of throws that I threw a different type of ball than the ball I would have thrown last year per se, just more dropping in as opposed to trying to rifle it, seeing it earlier, letting it go. But there's still some throws on tape that I definitely need to improve from. So I'm going to focus on that and work on it in practice week and just try to keep getting better.
Colleen Kane.
Hey, Mitch, going back to Allen, I know you're off social media, but we saw some guys tweeting about it yesterday. How do you guys as a group walk the line between wanting to support your guy as he wants an extension and not letting it become a distraction?
Well, we always support each other 100% all the way. So we're always behind our teammates, but I think it's really simple for us. It may seem like a distraction online or on Twitter or whatever it is, but we don't see that in the locker room. We don't see that on the field. And it's, especially with Allen and a lot of the guys we have on offense, you never got to worry about that type of thing because we're attacking practice and everything's team first mentality because I know these guys in the locker room. So the way he has handled himself and the rest of the guys on offense, it's professional. They're trying to get better. And I think all that other stuff will take care of itself.
Dion Miller.
Mitch, what did that fourth quarter do for you mentally?
It was just really nice to come away with a win. I think it gave myself and the offense confidence that we could put up points in a hurry. We just we'd like to do it throughout the first three quarters as well, not just all in the fourth quarter. So that comes down to consistency. But I think scoring three touchdowns in the fourth quarter gives your offense and myself a lot of confidence that you're able to do something like that. So for us, it's going to be consistency, starting faster, and having that better sense of urgency.
Last one, Adam Hogue.
And Mitch, not to keep harping on the under center stuff, but Matt said that it kind of came as a result of self-scouting and playing to a player's strengths, which I find interesting because, as you said, like you don't have a ton of experience under center. Going back to North Carolina is mostly shotgun. You probably had your most experience in 2017 under center. When did you realize that that's something you were good at and was one of your strengths?
I kind of looked at the self-scout from last year too, and I just saw the more productive and explosive plays were coming from under center. And when we were selling the run, just like the pass, when we didn't give a defensive tell, and a lot of the times we were in shotgun and teams would favor the pass more, and when they know pass is coming, it just makes it a lot harder to find completions and get explosive plays because they're just going to sag off, play soft zone, and keep everything in front. But when they have to respect the run, I think it sucks run defenders up and creates bigger pockets for our playmakers to go make plays. And for me, it's just repetition. I feel like I'm athletic enough to work on anything and get good at it eventually. So the under center stuff and the footwork, I think it's just repetitions for me. It's something I've become comfortable with and like. But yeah, it was just a self-scout thing from last year to this year, and it keeps the defense honest. And even though there's I think it's another thing with it being the NFL. You could see a lot of high school and in college has a lot of shotgun, but under center, I mean, the defenses are so good. You got to do something else to keep them honest. And if you're just going gun every time, I think it makes it hard on the O-line. They're going to pin their ears back and get a lot of tough rushing and if you go under center, it really slows the rush down because they have to respect more the run factor.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, guys, here's your update. That's going to be it for the day, and we'll try to get additional players tomorrow to compensate for today. So we'll get some more players tomorrow. Thanks for joining the call, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.